March 2025. The Oval Office. President Trump stands before the cameras and reveals something that's been flying in total secrecy since 2020. Not a rumor, not a concept, an actual fighter jet that's already logged hundreds of flight hours, and nobody outside a handful of officials even knew it existed. The F-47, America's first sixth-generation fighter. While China paraded their prototypes for the world to see, the US was building something so advanced, so secretive, that even the released images are deliberately fake. Air Force officials admitted they're laughing at foreign intelligence, trying to figure it out from misleading renders. This isn't just another fighter jet. This is a $300 million flying quarterback that commands drone armies, penetrates enemy airspace over 1,000 miles deep, and represents technology that makes the F-22 look like yesterday's news. But here's what makes this story different from every other defense program you've heard about. While the Pentagon usually takes decades to field new aircraft, the F-47 went from concept to flying prototype in record time. And the reason why reveals everything about how modern air warfare is changing faster than most people realize. Welcome to Jet Insight, where we bring you the real stories behind America's most advanced military technology. The announcement that changed everything. The defense industry was in shock. Boeing had just won the most important fighter contract in a generation, beating out Lockheed Martin, the company that gave us the F-22 and F-35. Over $20 billion for engineering and manufacturing development alone. But here's what caught everyone off guard. This wasn't a paper airplane. This wasn't a PowerPoint presentation with promises of future capabilities. Air Force Chief of Staff General David Alvin stood up and confirmed something remarkable. X-planes for the F-47 had been quietly flying since 2019 and 2022. Hundreds of flight hours, testing cutting-edge technology, maturing capabilities, all while the public debated whether sixth-generation fighters were even necessary. The number 47 itself carries weight. It honors the P-47 Thunderbolt, the legendary World War II fighter that helped win air superiority over Europe. That aircraft was rugged, long-ranged, and devastating. The new F-47 carries that same DNA into an era of stealth and artificial intelligence. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth didn't mince words at the announcement. This jet sends a direct message to allies that America isn't going anywhere, and to adversaries, that the United States can project power around the globe, unimpeded, for generations to come. Nothing in the world comes close to it. But the real story isn't just the announcement. It's what happened behind closed doors before Boeing's name was called. In 2024, the entire next-generation air dominance program hit the brakes. Hard. Then Secretary of the Air Force Frank Kendall looked at the projected costs and saw each fighter hitting 3 times the price of an F-35. He paused everything and ordered an internal study. The Air Force examined every alternative, different aircraft designs, different strategies, different force structures. Major General Joseph Kunkel, who led the analysis, was blunt about the findings. They tried a whole bunch of options, and there was no more viable path than NGAD to achieve air superiority in highly contested environments. General Kenneth Wilsbach added another crucial point. The US needs crewed 6th-generation aircraft to counter Chinese 6th-generation aircraft. This isn't theoretical anymore. If you agree that America needs to stay ahead in the skies, type proud in the comments below. The secrecy that defies belief. Here's where it gets interesting. China's been flying their 6th-generation prototypes, the J-36 and J-50, in broad daylight. Footage circulates online. Aviation enthusiasts analyze every detail. Russia talks openly about their PAKDP, interceptor program. Even European partners working on Tempest and GCAP show off demonstrators and release specifications. The United States. Radio silence. No confirmed photographs of the F-47 exist. Not one. Only 2 official renderings have been released, and Air Force officials openly joke that they're misleading. Frank Kendall, before leaving his position, actually laughed about imagining Chinese analysts studying the renders. His exact words, "Good luck trying to dig something out of there." This level of operational security mirrors the RQ-180 reconnaissance drone, which has reportedly been flying operational missions for over a decade without a single verified image reaching the public. The culture of concealment runs deep in America's most advanced programs, and the F-47 sits at the very top of that classification pyramid. What makes this secrecy even more remarkable is what's actually been flying. DARPA confirmed that 2 different X-plane demonstrators, built by Boeing and Lockheed Martin under research contracts, first flew in 2019 and 2022. These weren't small-scale models. These were full-sized aircraft that logged several hundred hours each, testing technologies that would define 6th-generation capabilities. Think about that timeline. While the public was still debating 5th-generation versus 4th-generation force structures, the Air Force was already flight testing 6th-generation technology. While analysts wrote papers about what future air dominance might look like, test pilots were actually flying it. And here's the part that should worry America's adversaries. If the experimental aircraft have been flying since 2019, and Boeing has already started building the first production F-47 as of September 2025, with first flight targeted for 2028, that means the United States is moving at a pace that contradicts everything we thought we knew about defense acquisition timelines. Before we dive deeper into what makes this fighter so revolutionary, please take a second to like this video and subscribe. Over 98% of viewers watch without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it means a lot to us. Range that rewrites the rules. Combat radius. It's a term that sounds technical, but it determines everything about how fighters can actually fight. It's the distance an aircraft can fly to a target, deliver weapons, and return home without refueling. The F-22 Raptor, America's current air superiority champion, has a combat radius of 590 nautical miles. That's about 680 regular miles. The F-35A does slightly better at 670 nautical miles, roughly 771 miles. These are capable jets, but they're built for a different kind of war. The F-47, over 1,000 nautical miles. That's 1,150 regular miles, nearly 1,850 kilometers for those counting in metric. We're talking about a roughly 70% increase in operational reach compared to the F-22. That's not an incremental improvement. That's a fundamental shift in what air superiority means. Here's why that matters in real terms. In a Pacific conflict scenario, that extra range means tanker aircraft can stay much farther from danger. Right now, tankers have to operate relatively close to contested airspace, making them vulnerable targets. With the F-47's extended legs, those critical support aircraft can orbit in safer zones while the fighters press deep into enemy territory. That 1,000-mile radius also means the F-47 can operate from bases that are actually defensible. China's been building up anti-access, area denial capabilities, specifically designed to keep American fighters too far away to matter. Missiles that can reach out hundreds of miles, advanced air defenses that make close-in operations suicidal. The F-47's range allows it to bypass those layered defenses, launching from bases beyond the reach of initial strikes while still hitting targets deep inside. Contested zones, and this is just the unrefueled combat radius we're talking about. With aerial refueling, which the F-47 is absolutely designed to use, the operational envelope expands exponentially. The jet can push even deeper, stay on station longer, and cover areas that current fighters simply cannot reach without multiple refueling events that expose both the fighter and tanker to unnecessary risk. The engines making this possible represent their own technological leap. Variable cycle engines that can dynamically adjust their operation for different flight phases. High efficiency for cruise, maximum thrust for combat, the ability to optimize performance across the entire mission profile, rather than compromising for a middle ground. Speed remains critical too. Mach 2 plus capability means the F-47 can cover vast distances quickly, and when necessary, run down threats or escape danger at speeds that most adversary aircraft simply cannot match. But it's the combination of speed and range together that creates the real advantage. Fast jets with short legs run out of gas. Long-range jets that fly slow become predictable targets. The F-47 brings both to the fight. Stealth that goes beyond invisibility. Everyone talks about stealth like it's a binary thing. Either you're invisible to radar or you're not. But 6th-generation stealth operates on an entirely different level. The term that keeps appearing in classified briefings is broadband low observability. What does that actually mean? Fifth-generation fighters like the F-22 and F-35 are optimized to be stealthy against specific radar frequencies that fire control systems use. They're shaped to deflect those wavelengths. They're coated with materials that absorb those signals. It works incredibly well against the threats those jets were designed to face. Sixth-generation stealth addresses the entire electromagnetic spectrum. Not just radar, not just specific frequencies, everything. Advanced air defenses now use multiple radar types simultaneously, trying to catch fighters in wavelengths where traditional stealth is less effective. The F-47 is designed to remain low observable across all of them. But here's where it gets really advanced. Infrared signature reduction. Heat-seeking missiles have gotten scary good at tracking even small temperature differences. The F-47 incorporates technologies to minimize its thermal signature, making it harder for infrared search and track systems to acquire and maintain lock. That's a game changer when you're operating in airspace saturated with advanced heat-seeking weapons. General David Alvin described the F-47 as having significantly more advanced stealth than fifth-generation fighters. Not slightly better, significantly. That word choice matters. It suggests fundamental breakthroughs in materials, shaping, and signature management that go well beyond incremental improvements, and the Air Force learned hard lessons from earlier programs. The F-22's stealth coatings are maintenance-intensive. Keeping the Raptor's low observable characteristics requires extensive, specialized care. The F-47 is designed from day one to be more sustainable and supportable. Alvin explicitly said it would require significantly less manpower and infrastructure to deploy compared to current stealth fighters. This isn't just about making the jet invisible. It's about making invisibility practical and maintainable in sustained combat operations. A stealth fighter that requires days of specialized maintenance after every flight might be technically impressive, but it's operationally limited. The F-47 aims to be the first stealth air superiority fighter that can actually maintain high sortie rates while preserving its low observable characteristics. The released renders, fake as they may be, do show some interesting features. One render appears to include canards just below the cockpit. Canards provide excellent maneuverability, giving pilots additional control authority for tight maneuvering, but they also increase radar cross-section and create additional surfaces that need stealth treatment. If the F-47 actually has canards, that suggests the designers found ways to integrate them without compromising stealth. Or more likely, given the Air Force's admission that the renders are misleading, the canards are a deliberate red herring to send adversary analysis down wrong paths. Either way, it shows the level of deception being employed to protect the actual design. The quarterback and his team. Here's the revolutionary part that changes everything about air combat. The F-47 isn't meant to fight alone. It's designed to be the quarterback of an aerial formation that includes multiple unmanned combat aircraft. The Air Force calls them collaborative combat aircraft, or CCAs. These aren't your grandfather's drones. We're talking about highly capable, AI-enabled unmanned fighters that can operate semi-autonomously alongside the F-47. The first two types, designated YQF-42A, built by General Atomics, and YQF-44A, built by Anduril, are already in development. Think about what this means tactically. A single F-47 might fly into contested airspace accompanied by 2, 3, or even 5 drone wingmen. Those drones can carry additional weapons. They can conduct reconnaissance. They can perform electronic warfare. They can absorb initial waves of enemy fire, protecting the more valuable crewed aircraft. They can saturate hostile defenses, creating gaps for the F-47 to exploit. The Air Force is planning to build over 1,000 of these CCAs across multiple increments. That's a massive force multiplier. Instead of thinking about the F-47 as a single aircraft, think about it as a formation commander leading a team of AI-enabled fighters that can coordinate maneuvers, share sensor data, and execute complex tactics that would be impossible with human-only crews. Current projections suggest at least 185 F-47s will be built, matching the F-22 Raptor fleet size. But when each of those 185 fighters can command multiple CCAs, the effective combat power increases exponentially. You're not fielding 185 fighters. You're fielding potentially 1,000 or more combat aircraft working in coordinated teams. And here's what makes the CCA concept so powerful. These drones have a projected range of about 700 nautical miles. That's less than the F-47's 1,000-plus nautical mile radius, yes, but the program is structured in increments. Future versions will have improved range, better stealth, enhanced weapons capacity. The first CCAs are just the beginning of a scalable, adaptable force structure. The F-47 serves as the command and control node for this formation. It fuses data from its own sensors with information from the CCAs, from satellites, from ground-based systems, from other friendly aircraft. It processes this massive information stream using onboard artificial intelligence, giving the pilot a clear, actionable picture of the battle space. Then it directs the CCAs to execute tactics based on that fused understanding. This is spectral warfare in action, dominating across the entire electromagnetic spectrum, coordinating multiple platforms, bringing overwhelming combat power to bear at the exact moment and location where it matters most. For those of you who've served or have family in the military, this kind of coordination and teamwork represents the best of what makes American forces effective. Technology is incredible, but it's the ability to work together to leverage every available asset that wins battles. The cost and the commitment. Let's talk about the price tag, because it's eye-watering. Around $300 million per aircraft based on early estimates. That's 3 times the average cost of an F-35. The engineering and manufacturing development contract alone is worth over $20 billion. Critics immediately jumped on those numbers. How can the Air Force justify spending that much on 185 fighters when the same money could buy hundreds of additional F-35s or modernized F-15EX? The answer comes down to what missions these jets are designed for. The F-47 isn't a multi-role fighter. It's not meant to do close air support or battlefield interdiction or any of the dozens of missions that the F-35 handles. The F-47 has exactly one job: achieve and maintain air superiority in the most contested environments imaginable. Think of it like comparing a special operations team to a regular infantry unit. Both are valuable. Both are necessary. But they're designed for completely different missions. You don't send Delta Force to hold static defensive positions, and you don't send regular infantry to conduct deep penetration raids behind enemy lines. The F-47 is built for scenarios where America's 5th-generation fighters might struggle. Airspace saturated with overlapping advanced air defenses, adversaries fielding their own 6th-generation aircraft. Contested zones where range, stealth, and survivability mean the difference between mission success and catastrophic losses. Major General Joseph Kunkel emphasized this point directly. The F-47's capabilities are game-changing, not just for the Air Force, but for the entire Joint Force. It allows American forces to operate in places they otherwise couldn't reach. It provides air superiority that enables everything else the military does. And Boeing desperately needed this win. The company's defense division has faced serious challenges in recent years: cost overruns, delayed programs, quality control issues. The F-47 contract represents a lifeline, revitalizing Boeing's fighter production line in St. Louis, Missouri, and giving the company's defense business a foundation for the next several decades. The investment also sends a strategic message. America is committed to maintaining air superiority, regardless of cost. The decision to move forward with NGAD, even after the pause and internal review, demonstrates that military leadership and political leadership agree this capability is non-negotiable. Conclusion: the F-47 represents more than just advanced technology. It's a statement that America won't cede the skies to any adversary. While other nations show off prototypes and concepts, the United States has been flying the real thing in secret for years, refining capabilities, testing systems, and preparing to field a fighter that changes the rules of air combat. First flight is targeted for 2028. Operational service is expected in the early 2030s. And when the F-47 finally enters the fleet, it will bring capabilities that make current air defenses obsolete and give American forces an advantage measured in years, if not decades. If you found this deep dive valuable, hit that like button and subscribe to Jet Insight for more stories about the technology keeping America safe. We'll see you in the next one.